Recently, there are many research about the mind-body interactions biofeedback. According to the Association for Applied Psychophysiology and Biofeedback, Biofeedback Certification International Alliance, and the International Society for Neurofeedback and Research. The biofeedback is a process that enables an individual to learn how to change physiological activity for the purposes of improving health and performance. Precise instruments measure physiological activity such as brain waves, heart function, breathing, muscle activity, and skin temperature. These interactions are controlled by autonomic nervous system and do not require conscious control by the cerebral cortex. In fact, the autonomic nervous system has two regulatory divisions, which are the sympathetic division and parasympathetic division.
In order to understand the differences between relaxation and arousal in the mind-body interactions, there is the biofeedback experiment. It measures heart rate and EDA electricity. The EDA is in terms of the electrodermal activity is one variable traditionally associated with sympathetic nervous system activity. The EDA is affected by sweat gland activity and skin response on the palmar surface of the hand. The biofeedback experiment is designed in two parts. In the first 90 seconds, the subject needs to keep concentrate on relaxing. It makes the heart rate and EDA value move down. After that, in the last 90 seconds, the subject needs to keep concentrate on arousal by their own mind. At the end of the experiment, we can see that the differences value between relaxation and arousal.
There are the points for attention about preparing the experiment and selecting the subject. First, it requires the quiet environment. It helps the subject focus on the experiment. Then, it requires to select the subject who did not have the exercise and drink the coffee, because the exercise will affect the subject's heart rate and the coffee is one type of the drugs. It will affect the body reaction in the mindset. Based on these conditions, we select the subject and starting the experiment.
First, when setting up the device and sticking the implement to my skin, I did not know the purpose and the procedure of this module that I wait for the instruction of the leader. After that, I understood that it's going to test the changing journey of my arousal level, which according to record my heart rate and EDA value. Besides, I was told that I need to look at the value bar of heart rate and EDA on the computer screen at the same time to control my arousal level, which is the EDA value by myself. Then, the leader explained that the journey is divided into two stages. In the early stage, I need to adjust my EDA value from the usual arousal level to extremely calm. In the second stage, there is a turning point that I need to make myself getting angry to let my EDA value has a great change suddenly, and to calm down again. In the following, I would talk about the situation and the skills that I have used during the testing. At the beginning of the first stage, I started to let my body to relax. For example, not sitting firmly. However, the EDA value did not change. Therefore, I tried to take the deep breathing for decreasing the arousal level. By taking 2 to 3 times deep breathing, the EDA value decreased slowly. But I hope to have an obvious effect on it, so I would like to make my mind unloading, which was not to think anything. The results showed that it could apparently let the EDA value decrease rapidly into the lowest value. By moving on to the second stage, I started to think something which led me angry or nervous. For example, to think about my daily huge workload, the homework and the exams. The results showed that the EDA value increased suddenly and rapidly into the highest level. Therefore, I used the same method that I have used in the first stage to empty my mind, to relax and calm down. To sum up the feeling and the experience of the whole testing, I found that it is much more easier to let the arousal level increase, and it is harder to decrease the EDA value. On the other words, it is difficult to truly relax. Moreover, if people want to increase their arousal level, they can simply think about something that can affect their emotion. If people want to be calm and to relax, take the deep breathing may be a good method, but not to think anything is the best way to do so. On the other hand, in the trail of the testing, it was accidental that I was distracted by others and I laughed. Then my EDA value also accidentally increased. Therefore, we understood that the method of increasing EDA value, besides making myself angry, but it can be making myself excited. For the application, the results can help the psychologist or therapist to create and operate some for programs for the patients which is without any harm and negative effects. As an example, if a pregnant woman who is very stressful, the tense may easily affect her body function and the development of the unborn baby. While she cannot take drugs to let her relax since she has a baby, therefore the biofeedback will be useful. During her trying in the section, she can know that which method is useful and which method is not useful according to look at her biofeedback. Therefore, she can learn and gain the skills to help reducing the stress healthily, which is good for her body and the development of her baby.